So tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is Rachel from Femme coming at you, and it's gonna be kind of just a talking video, I think, tonight. And what I'm thinking about right now is I'm thinking about how tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I don't get political at all. I used to, and I don't at all anymore. I learned my lesson. It was a very bad mistake in my life, and I was going through a hard time, so I latched onto something that gave me stimulus, and it was one of the worst mistakes I've ever made. And I still, pay attention to world affairs, don't get me wrong, but I don't partake in the political back and forth with friends or family anymore. That's just not, it's not even, it's not worth it. It's that it's coming into the fold so fast, and it's all coming at us with so many things and half-truths and so quickly, and then sometimes they don't even get it right. And so that's basically why I'm making this video is, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and you're going to be seeing friends and family if you're fortunate enough to have that. And it's a chance for you to maybe reconcile some differences. I don't think it's the time to cut people off. I think this is one of the saddest times I've experienced in American history, maybe even world history, because social media is worldwide now. And again, the pipeline, it moves at such a high rate of speed. And maybe tomorrow, leave your politics and grievances at the door. I don't think it's worth it to anybody. If you can, if you got some cigars, maybe bring them. Share them with your Republican uncle or your progressive aunt. And, maybe don't even bring up awful things. Just talk about memories. Memories are always a great thing. It's like they always bring us back and they center us. And it's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. And then, I'm not trying to get too crazy, but maybe you can even hug them. It's a great thing to hug people you love, even if there is some, we'll say, darkness between you two. And life is predicated in ways by our own actions, thoughts, and things we allow ourselves to take in. And when you allow yourself to build an outward view on life, on a hard side one way or the other, it blinds you. It actually causes you to be like, blinders. You don't see the whole world. You can only see it from right here. That means you don't get any of that peripheral view. And the peripheries is where you get your nuance. And I know there's people that will say, I watch news sources from both sides. That's fine. But, it doesn't always have a place at the dinner table. It doesn't always have a place really in many situations. I like to blacksmith. I like to do woodworking. I cannot find any good reason why opposing ideologies, unless it's about people in the craft, should arise. In the knife making world, you have Bill Moran and you have Bob Loveless. Those are two that people can argue about endlessly. Bob Loveless did stock removal, which means you just grind everything into shape. You cut it out, grind it to shape, and then heat treat it. You got a knife. Bill Moran, he started the American Bladesmith Society. He forged everything to shape, and then he did the grinding, finish work, etc. So there's the two camps, I guess you could say. Both of them are absolutely legendary. But those are things that are worth, I guess, debating about. It's actually kind of the camaraderie of it all, because that's you debating the history of your craft. But at the dinner table, or maybe you have family in a hospital and you're concerned about them, but you guys have shared some mean thoughts online, maybe go visit them. Don't talk about that. Talk like right now, I got wind gusting out there, 20, 30 miles an hour, sometimes 40 miles an hour. It's really ripping through Detroit right now. It is horribly cold. The snow's coming in, and I'm loving it. I love the cold weather. My girlfriend's up north right now. She's deer hunting, catching some whitetail, hopefully. She got one opening week, actually. It was great. And she's up there with her dad, and you know what they're not doing? Talking politics. You know what they're actually doing? Watching silly movies and commenting on them, like, Mystery Science Theater. And I think that'd be something really cool you could do with your family. Granted, her and her dad get along very well. They don't have political differences because they don't talk about it at all. They just see no reason. They love hunting so much. They love outdoors so much. They have so much to talk about that's not, politics. And it's the sooner we start understanding there's more to life than politics, and that you don't have to cut yourself out of someone's life because they're not willing to engage in politics, maybe the better off we'll be. I think we actually will be better off. And for those out there that celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Like I said, if you got cigars, bring them. These are a great thing to bring to a party. This one actually is, it's a Cuban honey. It's a Cuban honey vanilla. I'll show you I even got the band. So I can prove it, even though I didn't take it directly in front of you. But it's a Cuban honey vanilla. And, you know, it's a fun one to talk about because my favorite out of the Cuban honeys is actually the Southern Gentleman. I think they call it Southern Gen. But I got a vanilla. It's not bad. It's notoriously bad rolled. I very rarely get one that's rolled well. But those are the funny things you could actually talk about. And it's right now. You know, I know the world is burning down around us, but we don't have to acknowledge the fire right now because it's still not in our backyard. And if it's not in your backyard, whoop-de-doo, Basil. What does it all mean? Does it really mean anything? Maybe, in a very zoomed out perspective. But right now, I'm not so sure it means anything. All I know is, if you got friends and family that you can celebrate holidays with, you're doing better than most. So many do not have that. And it's unfortunate. And it sometimes is just the way of life. But hey, I'm going to start babbling a little too long. But like I said, if you got cigars, bring them to the party. Hug those that used to be someone you loved if you have that opportunity. You don't know when they'll be their last day. I lost a very dear friend 2 weeks ago. We lost touch, not in bad terms, but we just lost touch, and he passed away. I'll never be able to hug that guy again. I was hoping I'd rekindle with him someday, and that'll never happen now. And he was a frequent guest at my family's every holiday. It did not matter what holiday it was. It could have been St. Patrick's Day. And that Italian guy was at our house on St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, I'll never get to talk to him again, hug him, tell him I love him. And I sure wish I could. You know, rest in peace, Dominic. Nope, that'll be all. Rachel from Forge with Femme. Happy Thanksgiving 2025. Cheers.